Hello, 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 and welcome back to Talking to Tequila with Chloe. That's me, Chloe. Welcome to the first episode after our big guest episode. If you don't know, last week I had a guest on, my sister Catherine. We're going to break all of that down because honestly, the reviews are in and they're a little threatening. Okay, I'm just going to be real. We're going to go a little weekly recap, a baby shower that I threw, aka, and also attended, a little Mark Maron news I found out about. We need to revisit the fact that we're adults because some people seem to not be clocking that, and I'm going to clock it for you. And then a little tequila time, a Quiet Place 3 news just dropped. Madi Prewett, let's just talk about that absolutely mentally unwell woman. Grant Troutt, her vile husband, and a little podcasting news with Sophie Cunningham and Wes Wilson. If you don't know who Sophie Cunningham is, neither did I because she's extremely irrelevant in this world and in this life. But don't worry, I'll give you all the tea on that. Now, first, let's talk about last week's episode. I had, and you guys know, I have this major problem where I'm just always, backtracking and like talking shop. And if you think that's going to stop anytime soon, I don't know how it could possibly. I'm literally talking to you guys. Like, I guess it's like when people are like, oh, don't talk shop on podcasts. It's only me and you in the room, people. Who else would I be talking? I'm talking to you guys. Now, I do also want to point out, I'm doing a bit of a scene change. Normally when I do my solo episodes, I'm in my beanbag chair, but I did just want to take this couch on a little test drive for myself. One, because these pillows I wanted to show off. Two, I'm recording later, so my disco ball light is shining, which is great. You might see some glistening in the background behind me. So I just wanted to take it for a test drive. That doesn't mean I'm staying here, but honestly, the way I'm kind of feeling right now, like this camera angle is kind of spectacular. Okay, so my sister was on last week. I'm not going to lie to you. It did give me a little bit of anxiety, not because it's my sister, but because I really know social media. I know what different platforms you can and can't say. I know like trigger words. I know words that'll get you shadow banned. And my sister's not involved in that at all. So I was just like holding my breath. I'm like, please do not. That's why I kept having to tell her to say, allegedly, in your opinion. She's like, I'm being hyperbolic right now. But she would be like, Jeff Bezos is the devil. I'm like, allegedly, in her opinion. Now, I know I do push the boundaries sometimes, but I'm like, we cannot be tangoing with these billionaires with hard and fast accusations. We need to just say our opinions or just say allegedly in your opinion when you're done with your extremely strong stance on something. Now, if you want to say he's a loser, he's a Q-tip head, of course, all of that, free range. That's just your opinion. But, I can't be, listen. I have to pre-plan what day I pay the electric. I cannot be doing the dance with litigation with a billionaire. I just cannot. I will although it might be good PR. It might be good press. Little old me, petite little Chloe up against the big bad billionaires. But they would just kill the story and then sue me into oblivion behind the scenes. Anyways. People really seemed to like my episode with Catherine. I got great feedback. Everyone said it showed my versatility, which is great. I didn't know I had. In fact, in that episode, because I watched it back, and to be honest with you, I was cracking the hell up. I was cracking up. Me and my sister, first of all, we were cracking each other up, which is great. But every time I was like touching her arm and she was like, stop touching me. Like, that's so funny. People like the dynamic change. And a lot of people said that they would definitely be interested in a mix of guest and individual podcasts. I really am going to try to lean heavier onto the guest podcast. Here's the thing, and here's where I'm at. One, I need to figure out why the recordings kept stopping every 20 minutes. I don't know if it had to do with the microphones and recording on GarageBand. I did notice that my storage was almost full, so I cleared out a lot of things on my laptop. I don't know if it kept stopping because my storage was almost full, so it would like keep stopping whenever I was hitting my limit or whatever. But I will say I'll take it on one more test drive with my sister, because if the podcast keeps messing up and she's here, that's small potatoes. If the podcast is messing up and one of my friends are here, I don't want to be embarrassed in front of them, even though I know they wouldn't care. But I really did almost start crying last week, and so I just need to have this squared away just a tad bit more. And I will also say, I'm recording in my attic. You guys know this, my beautiful podcast studio that was redone in my attic. I do have a window air conditioner unit because the central air really does not reach up here. And I have to turn it off when the recording starts because, noise pollution. And I really would hate to have a friend up here that I'm trying to be like, oh, be my guest. Let me schmooze you. Let me wine you. Let me dine you. Only for me to get up here and be like, and let me let you sweat to death, honey. And for my sister, I don't have to tell her that because she's my sister. She can just bite the bullet. She can just deal with it. Not to be, but she just has to deal with it. So I will be having more guests on. Overall, people loved the guest episode and I was very happy with it. I will say it did almost drive me to a point of a nervous breakdown. I really don't understand how if I plug one microphone into my computer, it's smooth sailing. If I plug two microphones into my computer, I have to have become a master's educated IT guy. I don't understand how one more thing makes it one of the most complicated things I've ever done in my life, but alas, it did. Now that's enough. If you have any feedback on the guest episode, let me know. I'm always, don't just now start sending me unsolicited advice. I don't need you to be like messaging me and be like, hey girl, your hair was fucking so whack that last episode. I don't need that. But constructive criticism, I'm always open to. For example, I think about things a lot with I don't know. I cannot be talking shop this entire time. We're 7 minutes in. Let me move past it. Okay. I can't do it. Okay. This weekend, I held a fabulous baby shower for my stepbrother's wife. I need to figure out what that's technically called because she is family to me. And I would for my stepbrother, I can just say, oh, Andy, my stepbrother. When it gets to Stacy, I got to go 3 degrees down of explanation when I know that there's another word to just describe her. It's not stepsister, because then it would be a stepsister and a stepbrother are married, and that doesn't make any goddamn sense. But my stepsister-in-law, I'm gonna be the baby's aunt. So what would she be to me? I have no idea. I'm not good at genealogy at all. By the way, I was talking about YouTube the other day, and someone commented, I love the way you say YouTube. YouTube. How am I saying it weird? Because sometimes when people say, oh, I like the way you say okay, AH. I get it. I'm like, oh, you know what? I actually do hear that I say that. I add an AH at the end of that. Okay, I get you. YouTube. I'm literally just saying it. It's 2 words put together. I'm saying each word. And so for things like that, sometimes I really am at a loss. I'm not offended. I just say it over and over and over again. And I go, I don't understand I don't understand what they're hearing. I appreciate it. I appreciate the compliment, but I don't understand what they're hearing. Now, I threw a lovely baby shower for my stepbrother's wife, Stacy. It was me, my sister, and her 2 girlfriends. And at first, whenever we were, planning this baby shower, and it was the 4 girls, I was like, that seems like quite a lot of people for a baby shower to be planning it. There's going to be so many cooks in the kitchen. I don't want to be stepping. My biggest thing in life is I hate when it is so hard sometimes to have to politely navigate multiple cooks in the kitchen. So it's oh, what's everyone's idea? What's everyone want to be responsible for? But no one wants to be presumptuous. So everyone's it's whatever you want, whatever. And then lo and behold, we're 3 weeks out and we still don't have a damn thing nailed down. So actually ended up being perfect to have 4 girls planning this. If it ever comes across your desk that like 4 girls want to plan a bridal shower, bachelorette, anything, and you think that's going to be too many, it actually was lovely. And the 2 girls we didn't even know until the day of. I mean, we have been texting, but that's it. And then also her husband, Andy, and my stepbrother also came to help set up the day of. So in my mind, it's like 4 people planning it plus a husband. And then my sister told us all to get there at 8 a.m. versus noon as to when the shower was starting. And I'm in my mind thinking, 5 people, 4 hours, that's 20 hours of setup. How is this possible? How do we need that much time? Oh, don't you know, we used every goddamn minute of that time. And everyone at the end, it was funny because we all kind of had gotten to know each other at that point. And the 2 girls were like, when you guys said 8 a.m., I was like, what the fuck is this girl's problem? And then lo and behold, we needed all 4 hours of it. It was a teddy bear themed, like we can barely wait themed baby shower. It was really nice. I did basically MC the event, which was not planned, but I realized like halfway through someone needed to like make sure like the things were going, people were taking charge. Now Danny was also my like co-MC. We MC'd together. She really handled people walking in, kind of letting them know the flow of events. But then once the games got started, it was a mixture of older women, younger women, and I could tell it was a room full of shy girls, which is fine. I'm normally shy too. However, I was in a restaurant for about 6, 7, 8 years, and then I've also been a nurse for 10 years. Your literal life is commanding a room and like making sure it teaches you how to talk to strangers. So when the games got started, all of a sudden people do not want to participate in these games. And I'm here for the baby shower mom to have a good time, okay? I'm not here for us to all be kicking a can down the street and be going like, oh, no one's gonna. I said, ladies, wake up. It's party time. We're here to have fun. I want to see you get wild. I want to see you get wet. I want to see you get crazy. We're not going to be sitting around here looking at each other. There's a beer pong table that needs, a diaper pong table that needs played. So get up off your seats, women. Get up off your seats. I'm sorry. It's a lovely day. We need to seize the day and take advantage of what's going on right now. And honestly, the women did have a good time. And a few women came up to me and they were like, oh, you're fabulous at public speaking. I said, thank you. In my mind, I was like, well, my college public speaking teacher told me the same thing once. She asked me to stay after class. And I thought, oh God, here we go. Because I always did things very last minute in that class. And I thought, oh God, here we go. What's the problem? By the way, can we normalize when someone asks to speak with you, say, hey, can I speak with you? It's not bad. Hey, can I speak with you? It's bad. Be ready, bitch. Like just let me know. Either way, I'm gonna unless you want someone to be tortured, I really do feel like you should let them know if it's going to be good or bad, because just their mind's going to be wondering. So my speech teacher said, hey, I need to talk to you after class. I was like, here we fucking go. Here we go. Because I had started doing some work for my restaurant in that class because one of our managers had gotten back surgery. Felena had gotten back surgery. And she used to make the floor server keys. Basically, we would have a list of the servers that week and then each section of the restaurant. And you write in what server gets what section of the restaurant. And I started doing that for them whenever Felena had gotten surgery. So I started taking these restaurant map keys into class. And like when people were doing their little speeches, I'd be filling out the restaurant work queue for the weekend. I'd be like, oh, Abby's going in that section. I'm going in that section. She's going in that section. And to be honest with you, I was very fair about it. You would think with that kind of power, I would probably abuse it and, really like put my enemies in the worst section and put my friends in the best section. I didn't do that. I was very fair. If people rotated around, like let's say the same 10 girls, because it was very common for the same 10 girls to like work both weekend, like Saturday and Sunday, or Friday and Saturday. So Friday, my friends would get the great sections. The girls I didn't particularly care for would get the bad sections. Saturday, it would flip. My friends would get the bad sections. The girls I didn't particularly care for got the good sections. I was always, always, always very fair about that. But irregardless, I thought, oh God, this speech teacher is going to be asking me about the damn restaurant key that I keep filling out. And it ended up just being that she was like, you're wonderful at public speaking. You have a real gift at it. And I thought, what a lovely compliment. She didn't have to tell me that. She said I had a real shot at a career in public speaking. Now, is content creation public speaking? I don't really know. Is podcasting? I guess possible, because I am talking and I'm holding an audience. Now, the thing is not very many people are listening to it, but one day it might be large and in charge. Who knows? Now, I will say, I don't know if you've been seeing the conversations happening that supposedly TikTok is going to be going away in like March or May of 2026. And there's going to be a new America only users version of TikTok that they're going to release. Now, none of that is confirmed. It's all just rumor at this point, but it's going to be very similar to like basically a super, what's the word I'm looking for? Censored, like American government approved rhetoric. So no one's going to be on that. Like no one with any common sense is going to be on that, or it's going to turn into X, which is basically just like an echo chamber for right-wing neo-Nazis. So that's going to go away, I'm assuming. YouTube, I love, but it really is not like someone needs to invest in YouTube and revamp it. It can be done. And in fact, I have an idea. The same person that I believe revived the Croc brand also revived the Stanley brand. I believe that's the same person who took both of those brands and became the marketing person for them and brought them into the 21st century. YouTube can make a huge comeback in terms of being the forefront of platforms. It was in 2005, 2010, 2015, all the way up until like the makeup YouTube era of like 2019, 2020, until that huge crash fallout with, like Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson. I don't know. I never was really involved in like the Jenna Marbles, like original YouTube creators, Jaclyn Hill. Like I never followed them when I was, 10 years ago. I follow Jaclyn Hill now, but I wasn't really aware of that YouTube world until some of the makeup drama started coming out. And then I think I got interested in it, but I know for sure YouTube can make a comeback. They just have to put fucking effort into it, because Instagram's fucking lame sauce. Instagram is full of aspirational liars, real life aspirational people, or freaks who like post really bizarre videos of like snakes throwing up a rat. It's so weird over on Instagram. Did I say Instagram? That's what I'm talking about. So anyways, I don't know why I started getting off on that tangent, but it does have my mind thinking like, where am I going to go for content creation next year? Because I do feel like there's going to be a shift in landscaping. I just don't know where it's going to go, and I really wish it would go to YouTube. My long form content, I think, is still viable over there. It's just the up and coming generations do not spend that much time on that platform. And so I just don't want to miss out on a big opportunity of viewers or like, like in people that would enjoy my content. Like you normally do have to go to like the biggest, most in your face platform. And I just don't know who that would be after next year. But that's just me in my mind. I'm already starting to worry about it, and it's 8 months away, 9 months away, and it's not even confirmed, but it is something I'm worrying about a little bit. Now, enough about the baby shower. It was fabulous. It was fun. I cannot wait to see what Stacy's having. It really sunk into me this week that I'm going to be an aunt technically. Like legally, I'm going to be an aunt because Andy's my stepbrother and they're having a baby. So that kid's going to be my niece or nephew, which is really bizarre to think about. So I'm going to love this kid a lot and I'm going to be babysitting all the time, I hope. Andy and Stacy really love to go out to dinner. Like they'll love to go to a like a beer hall or like a brewery, things like that. So I'm really hoping that I'll be able to say like quite frequently, like, hey guys, want to go get dinner tonight? I'll come over and watch the baby, because I do feel like it's not often that you get to meet a kid when they're an infant up until their adult life and really make an impression on them. Like my friends Katie and Jordan have kids and they have a bunch of little girls, and like I really love that they have girls and that I can just like the one little girl Ara, like I'm always calling her a queen because she is a queen and she really loves it. And like to me, I like that in their little brain, you're able to plant like you're a queen. Or like Yara, I'm like, you're fabulous, Yara. You're a fabulous, smart, cool girl. Like you can plant it in their brain. Bria's getting older now, so it's interesting with Bria because I don't want to come off as like, I don't want to come off with Bria as like the corny, annoying like aunt. I'm not her aunt, but basically, because she's becoming a young lady, so I want to seem cool kind of to her. Like I don't want to be like, hey girl, blah, 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 like a freak. And I do plan on one day, if I ever get out of debt and make it really big. And then Katie also has a daughter, Nori, who literally like will not speak to me. She's really cute and shy, but like, what can I say about Nori? She just is like literally, I look at Nori, she's like, don't even dare. Don't you dare. She's like, look at me. Don't you dare. But I'm trying. I'll crack her one day. Maybe in a few more years. I don't know. But anyways, I do have this big plan with these 4 little girls, that one day if I get out of debt, because I would have loved someone to do this to me when I was younger, but doesn't happen. If one day I get out of debt and make a lot of money, I'm literally going to show up to their house one day. Uggs for all of you. Lululemons for all of you. Oh, you wanted this? What the hell is this thing called? A Tamagotchi? Hold on. Labubu. I'll be like, oh, you wanted a Labubu? Here's 5,000 of them. Like, I would love to just be like, oh, like, what's your favorite thing right now? And maybe Bria will say like, oh, Tache skincare. And I'll be like, oh, this Tache skincare, and give her like every freaking piece of Tache skincare. One day, if I have money, I'll do that. I don't really have money right now, to be just showering them with gifts like that. But it's fine. Maybe one day I will, or maybe one day when I'm older or something. I don't know. But anyways, I do need to talk about something very important, which is I recently found out that I have a new birthday buddy. And I don't know if it's just a millennial thing. I don't know if it's a thing that just is important to everyone and it supersedes and exceeds generations. But forever, I always used to know that Lil Wayne was my birthday buddy. And anytime anyone asked me who my birthday buddy was, I would be like, Lil Wayne, which is fabulous. Like to me, oh, I have a birthday buddy, the greatest rapper of all time. You can't really beat that. But imagine my surprise. And you guys know how I feel about Marc Maron. I feel so connected to Marc Maron, simpatico, erratico. He's so anal and unwell mentally. This man is very smart. He is very he's very smart. He's very self-aware. He reminds me of me so much. Like he will literally just be like, I'm doing my best. I try my best to be like a person who learns from my mistakes and who really understands themselves. But also at the same time, I cannot stop thinking that my house is going to explode. And I'm like, that's me. I also am a smart person who is decently educated, who should have common sense, who is good at talking and commanding a room, who is generally friendly but also has a bit of a chip on their shoulder and a slight temper and a bad attitude at times. And like, we're similar in that way. And I should be really, I should have a handle on my mind. But sometimes I will just I have a mirror in my house that has needed hung for 7 years. I am scared to accidentally hit a water pipe when I hang it. There are 100 different ways for me to make sure I don't hit a water pipe. Yet I take no action to find out where the water pipes are or to make sure it's a stud and not a pipe. I take no action. I just don't hang the mirror. That's so Mark Maron coded. And so all of a sudden I'm listening to this podcast with him and he's talking about how, blah, 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 my birthday's in September. When I tell you I knew it in my gut, just like the same way the first time I ever had COVID, I knew I had COVID because I was fucking dry, coughing all night long. I said, I'm taking a test in the morning. Took a test, COVID. I already knew it was going to be positive. And by the way, that was in 2024. I lasted a really long time. Mark Maron said his birthday was in September. I said, shut the fuck up. I know this man is my birthday buddy. I fucking know it. There's no way we're this similar. There's no way I feel this type of kinship with him and we're not birthday buddies. Googled it. September 27th, birthday buddy. So now, check this out. You know how they do those Instagram quizzes like, oh, what seat would you like to fly on in a plane? And they have like 2 celebrities and then you would be the middle seat. Lil Wayne, me, Mark Maron. Tell me that's not a recipe for a good time. Exactly. And I know other people have birthday buddies that are really, really unfortunate. And so I don't want to rub it in too much. And I don't want to make anyone feel bad if their birthday buddy's not great. So I will move past that. But I will just have to say, September 27th is looking pretty goddamn good. Now, technically that means we're all Libras. I don't know anything past that. And I don't know a thing about a Libra. One thing I feel like it's important to say this week, and I feel like people are kind of forgetting it, is if you're listening to me, you should be over 18. If you're not over 18 and your parent is there and your parent is listening, then that's fine. I'll allow it. If you're under 18 and you are just listening to me, I'm sorry to tell you, you missed the memo. This is the official announcement. My content is not for under the age of 18. A lot of these gamers and a lot of these online personalities love to, what's the word I'm looking for without getting myself in any legal trouble? A lot of these online content creators love to target under 18 communities. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because their fandom is very aggressive or like aggressive in the sense that like they're so engaged. I don't really know why. My platform is not for anyone under the age of 18. I'm not one of those people. I'm not like, oh, you're 13 and I'm going to DM with you. No, I'm not going to do that. In fact, I'm going to tell your mother. In fact, I will be a snitch. It's rarely in this life that I'm a snitch, but young girls and boys, young men and women, not men and women, young girls and boys should not be engaging with adults online. I don't care how innocent the content is. I don't care how progressive the content is. That is a no. There's like a big online push right now with like adults talking to kids on roadblocks where they're like, oh, but we're talking about politics, or oh, I'm trying to help them understand the current administration. What the fuck are you talking about? You're chatting with a 12-year-old? I'm sorry. You need to sit several seats down and figure out where the fuck in your life you thought as a 34-year-old you should be chatting with a 13-year-old online. Honestly. Please. So anyways, I wanted to remind all of us, we are adults. And I feel like sometimes people are forgetting that, because I've gotten a lot of messages recently that are like, I wish I could be living your life, or I wish I could just go to brunch like you do, or I wish I could start content creating like you do. Do it. Look at me. Everything you're saying, you can just do. We're adults. You can do whatever you want, whatever your heart desires. If you want to go to the grocery store and get a Dinty Moore beef stew, a can of beefaroni, sit down, watch Real Housewives of Orange County, eat the beefaroni, back to back, open up that Dinty Moore beef stew, take out all the potatoes because they're the worst part of that entree, and house a second can of a meal, you can. If you want to start content creating, turn your motherfucking camera on and start recording yourself. We have nothing but time passing us right now. Do you understand? I counted like 30 or 40 gray hairs on my head today. We're running out of time, people. Now, when people say, oh, wish I could be living the life you live. You're off in New York, then you're in Rehoboth, then you're doing this. Girlfriend, I have a curtain in my makeup room that I wipe my makeup off onto. I am not a damn nothing to be aspirational of, to think that I'm living some fabulous life that you're not living. I am in a 4th floor attic with no air conditioning, sweat glimmering off of my cheek, a curtain in my makeup room that has used makeup from my face wiped on it. My dogs will look me dead in the eye, take a squat, and piss on the carpet. There is nothing going on in my life that is fabuloso outside of my own romanticization of it, my own romanticizing of it. I charged my trip to New York City. I charged my trip to Rehoboth. I'm not paying for that out of pocket, baby. Our relationship is me, my boyfriend, and Capital One. There is nothing special happening here. So I'm just trying to stress to all of us, like, if you want to go, especially like these young girls, some not young girls, but like young adults, like 30-year-olds or like 20-year-olds 25-year-olds message me. They'll be like, girl, like you always go to brunch on Sundays. I wish I could start to do that. And I'm like, oh, well, like what's stopping you? They're like, I don't know, just, I guess doing it. I'm like, get the fuck out of the house and do it then. Get out of the house. This is not to scold you. This is to wake you up. I don't have anyone to go with. I don't have anyone to go with to brunch when I'm in Seattle, Boston, Baltimore, Annapolis, DC. I just go, babe. And if people look at me, I go like this. Oh, look at them clocking me. They think I'm fabulous. You just start lying to yourself in your own mind. Could I look at them and be like, oh, they're looking at me. They probably think it's mortifying that I'm alone. They probably think it's mortifying that I have no one to go to eat with. Lie to yourself. I look at them looking at me and I go, they think I'm so fabulous. And look at this hair and these eyebrows. Look at this. Look at my outfit. These people, they want to be me. They love me. Like, just make it up. And if it's true or not true, I don't care. Do you understand? Face on, I look so cute and charming and wonderful. I'm literally stunning. You would think face on, I'm Cleopatra, I'm Jessica Simpson, I'm Beyonce, I'm Zendaya, I'm every woman. From behind, it looks like God forgot to build me. From the front, I look amazing. I love myself. From the back, it looks like we ran out of ink. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I still say to myself, I'm the most gorgeous, sexy, beautiful, stunning queen on the face of the earth. Oh, you want to switch lives with Shania Twain? No, I don't. You want to switch lives with Beyonce? No. You want to switch lives with Zendaya? Don't tempt me now. Zendaya, that's one that I honestly might say yes to. But like, do you want to switch lives with Taylor Swift? No. I would never want to date big, dope Travis Kelce. I understand that technically he's tall. That's about it. There's not a one thing about Travis Kelce that does it for me. Is he technically cute? Do I see that? Yes. I see it and I understand it. There's something about him that just comes off to me as like such a big dope. Like, I don't find him to be masculine at all. And I'm not saying you necessarily need to be masculine, but there's like something about him that makes me feel like he wouldn't defend me or something. Do you know what I mean? Like he wouldn't have my back. So I'm just not like, no. Like, so I wouldn't even switch lives with Taylor Swift, to be honest with you. I know that that's crazy. Look at my disco ball shining bright like a diamond. It kind of looks like a sniper's pointing something at my forehead, but it's okay. And if it is a sniper pointing something at my forehead, don't miss. Honest to God. You can take me out, just make it a clean shot. Thank you so much. Now, let's get into some tequila time. Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta, ra-ta-ta-ta-ta, ah, ra-ta-ta-ta-ta, ra-ta-ta-ta-ta, ah, ah. Now, before I show you that, I do want to show you my little tray that I made that's really beautiful. I cannot figure out how to get it in frame without me becoming too small and this becoming too big. This is for the visual watchers. Please just bear with me. How beautiful is my little tray? And I can't figure out how to get it in the camera. Sorry about that. That was exclusive content. Because whenever I record, it's like if I want that to be able to be in frame, the camera has to be back farther, but I feel like I want to be up in your guys' face. I want to be closer to the camera. So it's just right now something that I'm dealing with. I'm getting stuff hung up back here. It's just, everything takes time, people. Like I said, I've needed to hang a mirror for 7 years. So with tequila time, the lightest and most fabulous and quick story to cover is that it has been announced that A Quiet Place 3 is being released July 9th, 2027. That is 2 years away. So I do have to wonder why the absolute... Now, is that right? 2027? I thought it said 2026. I'm going to pull up the internet while I am podcasting because I don't want to give you guys false information, because A Quiet Place 3. Now, I do have to say, A Quiet Place, A Quiet Place 4 confirmed release date. So the way that they're saying this is really, it is July 9th, 2027. What a fucking piece of shit to release that. It's so far away. So there was obviously A Quiet Place 1, which was revolutionary. A Quiet Place 2, which gave us Cillian Murphy. Thank you. What a blessing that you guys gave that to us. And then there was, of course, A Quiet Place Day 1, which was technically the third one that had come out, which was set in New York City, starring Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn, which was arguably one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, there was action. That's great. Yeah, there was aliens. That's great. Those are all my favorite genres. I love that. What's there to complain about? What there is to complain about is the fact that the premise was there was aliens attacking the face of the earth, shredding people into 1,000 million pieces. And the plot line was, I shit you not, Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn were trying to make it uptown to get a slice of their favorite pizza before the building was destroyed. That was the plot. And I'm not fucking with you. And I'm not being dramatic. And I'm not saying it in a dramatic way to make it seem like it's crazier or more or less crazy than it was. Lupita had cancer, so she was going to die no matter what. So her mind frame was basically, I'm not going to be fighting these aliens. I'm going to be dead in fucking 2 weeks anyways. So her goal was to get uptown to get this pizza. Even though the whole city was getting exploded into 1 million pieces, somehow it was never addressed that maybe the building would be exploded into a million pieces. And then she runs into Joseph Quinn, and somehow he decided the best plan of action was to not flee the aliens. He was going to accompany her to get the pizza. The only good part about that movie was they did set up a little bit of how Henry got to the island in the second movie. But outside of that, I literally left the theaters. It's very rare. If it's a genre that I like, let's say, for example, 28 years later, if it's a genre that I like a zombie movie, I will make so many exceptions and I will do mental gymnastics to support a movie if it's within the genre that I like. And I left this theater, even though it was based in New York City, which is my favorite city in the world, even though it was a post-apocalyptic, which is my favorite genre in the world, even though it was aliens, which is one of my favorite things in the world. I left that movie and I literally thought, fuck you for wasting my time. That movie was so dumb. So I'm hoping A Quiet Place, they're calling it A Quiet Place 3, because technically the third movie was called A Quiet Place Day 1. It was an origin story. So A Quiet Place 3, which they may need to change the title because it really is confusing. Because by the way, when you Google A Quiet Place 3, A Quiet Place Day 1 comes up. So they're honestly, someone needs to look into that. Whatever company looks into this, please look into it. Thank you so much. Now, let's get to what I really want to talk about, which is Madi Prewett, aka Madi Prewett, and her husband Grant Troutt, and their daughter Hosanna. Now, let me set the scene for you a little bit, okay? Madi Prewett was on The Bachelor. She was one of the contestants trying to, win the heart of The Bachelor. She was very religious on that show, which is fine. I am not very religious. I have a hard time not judging people who are very religious. It's my own internalized battle. I grew up very religious. I grew up going to church 2 days a week, being heavily judged by the women in the church. The women in the church really do like to impose themselves on people, which I find to be very fucking odd, to be a grown woman and literally in the business of a 14-year-old, but whatever. I still believe in God, but I do not consider myself religious. And I don't know if I believe in God because I really believe in God or because I'm so scared that they teach you from 5 years old that if you don't follow this, you're going to burn in the pits of hell forever. I think a lot of my anxiety stems from things like that, like religion and if you're not perfect, you'll die and burn forever in hell with demons. Do you understand when you have a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old and a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old? And twice a week they go to church and they say, these are the rules. You got to follow these rules. This is the Bible. These are your consequences. This is the ideal image. And these are the rules. And if you don't follow the rules, you burn in hell forever. Do you understand that might be the reason some people have generalized anxiety disorder? That might be the reason some people have debilitating, crippling OCD? That a lot of millennials have a drive of perfectionism that is unattainable and unachievable? Do religious people understand that? Do religious people understand that they sit up on their horse sometimes and go, now I'm not talking all, but a fucking lot. We are the ideal and the gay is not the ideal and the adulterer is not the ideal as they fuck their secretary, right? The hypocrisy is just something else to be explained in totality. Okay. it just is like, to me, I cannot stand organized religion, and I cannot stand people that make their entire personality religion. Because to me, modern religion is based on judging others and being extremely unwelcoming to anyone who is not like you. Okay. So Madi Prewett, who is extremely religious, and her husband Grant Troutt, who is one of the ugliest, most asinine, hideous, loser, pipsqueak, too big mouth, ugly face men I've ever seen in my life, were on their podcast, which, coming from someone with a podcast, I know it's annoying to say not everyone should have a podcast. They should not. Their podcast is fucking ass. And I've never listened to a minute of it. I just know. They went on their podcast and talked about how they are going to be spanking their daughter when she gets older. Now, I'm going to read you some direct quotes that really make them sound fucking psychotic. Okay? Madi Prewett said that she's going to say to her daughter when she's going to spank her, "Mommy does not want to discipline you. Mommy doesn't enjoy having to spank you, but there are consequences to disobedience. If you say disobedience, I immediately hate you. If the word that you use when your child misbehaves is disobedience, I hate you forever. You sound like a militant psycho narcissist." And then she follows up by saying, "There's consequences to sin." That's psychotic verbiage to use regarding your child. And it's psychotic verbiage regarding your 6-month-old child. And it's psychotic verbiage, period. Okay? And then she says, another direct quote. "Well, some people could say discipline them with timeouts." Hold on. It says with a rod. This is her trying to pretense the backlash she's going to get. When people say, "Well, couldn't you just do a timeout?" She says, hold on. It says with the rod. Now, when you're talking about following a thousands of years old book translated 100 million times by mere men who are full of bias and ignorance and stupidity, retranslated, and then you cling on to certain things because Lord knows that bitch eats a pork taco. And when I say bitch, I mean it with my whole fucking heart. Madi Prewett is a fucking bitch. Do you understand me? She's a bitch. And her husband, let me say his name, Grant Troutt, is a fucking bitch. I feel so passionately about spanking children. If I find out you spank your child, I immediately never fuck with you again a day in your life. Spanking children is one of the most old school, cruel, anxiety-inducing, physically abusive things you can do to your child. If your child misbehaves and the response to that is physically hitting them, I don't care what world or what realm you're coming from, it's fucking diabolical. And I probably have a particularly aggressive stance on this, growing up in an abusive household with my mom and stepdad. So I probably have a slightly harsh take on it. The anxiety you instill in your child when you know if they make a mistake. By the way, saying disobedience and sin regarding a child is so fucking crazy to me. When your kid makes a mistake, their brains are not fully formed yet. If they come home past curfew, if they break a vase, if they throw their food away and they told you that they ate it and they really threw it away because they don't like prunes, any of that. When you talk about it and you describe it as a sin or disobedience when you know that that kid's brain is not fully formed till they're fucking 25 years old. They made a mistake. I'm not saying that kids can't be bad and need disciplined. Time out, take the phone away, not their favorite show, no iPad, say you're sorry. You know what my dad used to make us do? We would have to like write a one-page paper at the library on a topic. So like instead of spending a summer day out with our girlfriends, we would have to, like go to the library and it could be any topic we wanted, but we had to pick something, learn about it, research it on the computer, and then write a one page on the computer and print it and give it to him. There are other forms of punishment that don't involve you hitting your kid. I don't really give a shit what they do. Now, let me be clear. If your son in a fit of rage slaps his mother, sure. There could be there could be 1,000 different instances where you tell me, your son was, I don't know, or your daughter was lit the house on fire. Okay, I guess in that one certain circumstance, you might have, a fit of something. But in general, you should literally never, ever, 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 ever hit your child. Never. Never. The anxiety that gives your child, that your fully grown 200-pound adult is going to, can you imagine this as a child, this coming at you? Like, I'm sorry, the kid's fucking 5. What are you doing? What are you talking about? So this is another psychotic quote from them. Folly is bound up in a child, but discipline drives it far away. Shut the fuck up. That, I believe, was said by Grant Troutt, the loser of a lifetime, Grant Troutt. Let me say something. The way these people will follow certain words from the Bible to a T. The Bible says, fuck your kid up, so we're going to do it. Hey, the Bible says, take a rod and hit your kid with it, so we're going to do it. Now, the Bible also says to not eat shrimp, but honey, it's shrimp cocktail. We couldn't possibly pass that up. Like, fuck you so hard. Fuck you so hard. Do you understand me? I can't say this any more clearly. When you take a Bible and pick and choose how you want to criticize, ridicule, attack, confront, hit, and abuse certain groups of people, but then the other things that you've kind of got a fancy for, a little pork taco, el pastor, a little shrimp on the side, not judging people, not casting judgment, all those can just go fuck themselves, right? Exactly. The hypocrisy is loud. And let me just say this one time really clearly in case you didn't get the picture. Madi Prewett can kiss my motherfucking ass. And her husband, Grant Troutt, can kiss my motherfucking wide open fucking ass. And I understand that this is an aggressive take, but they sit on their podcast and they spew bullshit every fucking week. And then they giggle and laugh about how they're going to spank their kid. Fuck you. Honestly, fuck you. I'm so sick of these hypocritical, and it's also probably the times right now, right? Like the white Christian nationalists taking over the country. Like, so I'm sure that doesn't help. But in these kind of times, to continue to push like this hyper-religious rhetoric, when that same hyper-religious rhetoric is physically endangering so many people in this country, I just have no patience for it. I have no patience for it. Why don't we ever sit up on these podcasts, on these religious podcasts, and talk about helping thy neighbor? Looking out for the poor, looking out for the needy, looking out for the immigrant. That literally explicitly says that. Why don't you ever sit on your podcast for an hour and a half and say, hey man, it says to help the immigrant, it says to help the needy. And they're trying to expel all the immigrants from this country. And they're trying to take away Medicare and Medicaid from people. That seems like a contradiction to the written word. No, they talk about how they can't wait to fuck their kid up. Fuck you. Okay. Sorry, I had to talk about that. It pissed me the fuck off when I heard that. It really, really, really did. And now lastly, let's get into West Wilson, Sophie Cunningham, and oddly enough, Dave Portnoy. I don't know if Dave Portnoy cares about being famous or not, but I do know that he is oftentimes in the news. And I don't know if it's just because he's so polarizing or if he has like PR that he wants to be in the news, but it's really annoying. It really is. So Wes Wilson announced last week that he was starting a podcast with Sophie Cunningham. And I actually have posted on my story, like, I cannot wait to listen to this because I'm really dry on podcasts. In West, even though he's not perfect, I feel like I could see in him that he generally really does try to be a good guy. Now, the way you handle relationship issues, the way that you shut down, the way that you do seem kind of like thirsty for fame, you know, we could nitpick that all day long. I generally try to see, like, does he seem like he would help me if I needed help? Does he seem like he would be generally a good guy? Does he seem like I would be able to trust him with my drink? All of these questions I could answer yes with West. That's how I felt. Okay. So I go, I didn't know who this woman was. I thought, okay, well, I guess I'll get to know her on the podcast. I'm there for West, but I'm sure I'll get to know her and, you know, then start to have some type of relatability to her or whatever, how you do with most podcasts. Well, someone DM'd me. They said they call that girl Sophie Cunningham MAGA Barbie. Like, she's rumored to be a huge MAGA Republican. Now, I looked it up and I can't find anything confirmed, but there have been like several tweets of hers that have leaned very right. After rumors had come up that she's like very that she's like MAGA and MAGA Barbie, she had posted a photo with a red hat, but like turned her head so you couldn't see the writing. There was writing on it, but you couldn't see it. Like kind of almost taunting and or subliminally confirming what people had said. But it seems very clear that she is seemingly there's a difference between being a Republican and a MAGA Republican. It seemed she's a MAGA Republican. I don't understand how you can be a man living in New York City, friends with some of the most at-risk demographic in the entire country right now, and start a podcast with a MAGA Republican. Now, there was a deleted comment that someone had shown on TikTok. I can't confirm whether or not it really was from West, but it seems confirmed that someone had said to him, like, how are you going to start a podcast with a fucking MAGA girl? And he was like, is it better for me to just only talk about these things with people that agree with me? Or should I get onto a platform that maybe people disagree with me on so I can speak to them about these important topics? Basically, almost kind of alluding to like that he would not be like a mole, but like, you know, you have to talk to the people that have different opinions than you to try to change their mind on those opinions. The only thing though is like you're monetizing off of it. Like, and the other thing is, if you want to have those private conversations, like I've mentioned several times now that I have a friend that is, I don't know if MAGA is the right word, but she is indifferent to this type of, she doesn't care. And she also, I think, would play devil's advocate to a lot of things that Trump is doing. And maybe even low key, like, or high key, kind of be like, well, he has a point with that or whatever. I think I could call this friend of mine a MAGA Republican. I think if I had to pick a phrase, I think I would be able to call her that. So in the privacy of our own lives, I talk to her about this shit all the time to try to educate her, inform her, flip her, right? She asked before if she could be on my podcast. I said, absolutely not. I'm not going to be associated with you on my platform when you have photos with Make America Great. She didn't have the hat on, but her friend had the hat on and she was in the picture with her. I'm like, you think I'm going to be on my platform, that my entire platform is about speaking up for people? My entire platform was supposed to be about entertainment. It has shifted because it's necessary right now to inform, educate, and hopefully still once in a while entertain. My entire platform is to speak for at-risk populations and to try to save our democracy. You think I'm going to have you on my podcast so they can Google your name in 1 second and see you posted up with a fucking girlfriend of yours with a Make America Great Again hat on? I don't want that to have anything to do with my platform. That's you and your fucked up life and your fucked up twisted life that I'm trying to free you from and have a lot of patience with you and educate you slowly, because we have a kinship and I know that you're a good person and I think you were just raised in a rural area and I'm trying to free your mind of this shit. But I would never monetize off of her, and like I would never have her on my platform. Like, and also the photos, it's just like, when did you meet this girl? That's also what I want to know. When did you, because this girl of mine, I've known this girl for a decade, right? Like, I have a relationship with this person that I have a deep rooted ties to, that I've known her at her highest and lowest. She's known me at my highest and lowest. She's like, we've both had very important people in our lives pass away from addiction. Like, we have a bond that is deeper than politics, that she's one of the only people that understands my OCD and my anxiety and my mental disorders. She can see me spiraling at work and pull me out of it and save me. Okay? We have a deep, deep, deep bond. When did Wes Wilson meet WNBA player Sophie Cunningham? That they're hugging each other in these promo photos and biting each other's shoulders and giving each other fucking wedgies. You know? And Dave Portnoy, to tie him into it, came onto the scene and said that they had actually tested their podcast at Barstool Sports. There was a long conversation, long pitches. They were very close to signing it. So it's kind of like, not only West, are you doing a podcast with MAGA Barbie Sophie Cunningham? It was going to be on Barstool Sports. Could you make any worse decisions? Is there any I know. Maybe the only thing worse that you could do is your advertisements on it could be gambling in crypto. If you wanted to make this as worse as humanly possible, outside of your co-host being MAGA, outside of it being on Barstool Sports Network, you could probably advertise crypto and gambling. That probably would be the fucking trifecta. Now, don't get it twisted. Dave ended up not doing the deal with them. He ended up saying like they don't want to sign them, but it was their intention to want to go to Barstool Sports. It's just like with me, where you have to have a certain line. You have to have principles. I understand it's awesome to be famous and to want to be famous and to want to make it in media and social media and content creation. You have to have principles and boundaries. If you want to be a content creator, you need to try to figure out what is the most important thing to you. Your morals and your ethics, or fame. If right now, tomorrow, Dear Media reached out to me and said, we've listened to all 33 of your episodes, 32, my 33rd is not going to be released till today. This is 33, guys. If Dear Media said to me, we've listened to every single one of your episodes, you're a genius. We need to sign you now. You're going to have a producer. You're going to have promo. You're going to have advertisements. You're going to have money pouring out of your ears, busting out of your ears. You're going to be an overnight sensation. We're going to have you on a booze cruise next month. Your dream is to be on a podcast tour. Book it. Pick out your outfits. I would say I I unpolitely decline. I in the most offensive, rude way possible, decline, dear media. I would never sign to your company. I think your owner and your co-owner, I think him and her, I think the owners of that company are diabolical. I would never sign to your company. Like, you need to have some fucking principles in fucking moral high ground. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Or is he really that, or did he play me that hard? Is he that disconnected? Is he that unaware that if you lay with pigs, you get dirty? Do you understand? Like, you want to be this really like advocate, liberal man who stands up for, who stands up against what's going on right now. That's what you portray, but you want to lay in the mud. You want to lay in the dirt. And it's like, I used to actually say, I said once, if I was going to sign with any company, it would be Barstool. Because I knew nothing about them. I think I knew like the BFF's pod, and then that Snooki's best friend, that guy, he had a podcast on there. So I was like, can't be that bad. There's a gay man on that network. Well, someone said, oh, Google him. Right? Like, you just have to Google them. You just have to Google them. And it would be very easy for you to see. Right? So, it's been a very interesting pop culture week, a little dry. The one thing I will say is I always like drop my podcast episode on a Wednesday. I normally record it on like a Sunday or a Monday. I wish I could have better real time. It's really hard right now with how my work schedule. They keep scheduling me Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so I have to record like Sunday or Monday. But I'm hoping to switch that up a little bit, because I was in the first half of this recording on Tuesdays all the time, and then the episode was dropping on Wednesdays. But right now I'm recording on Sundays and Mondays. So I always feel like there's like this big shit that drops on like Tuesday or like Monday that I'm like can't include, and I always feel like I'm like a week behind on shit. But I think I'm doing the best I can. Now, we're doing no politicking this week because I've been doing enough of that on my TikTok. I've been really kind of pedal to the metal with that, and I just don't feel like I don't want to do it this week. All I can say is, with politicking, the 2026 elections are hopefully happening next year. They're going to be of the utmost importance. If you want to start to educate yourself on the 2026 elections and why they're so important, I would encourage you to do that. It would be incredibly beneficial for us to start to really pay attention to the 2026 elections, okay? Now, this week's Chic C'est la vie, ça va, chic c'est la vie, ça va, goes to none other than my birthday buddy, Mark Maron. It's been a really bad week in terms of social media, politics, bad news, really just rough stuff going on. And it's hard. I have noticed when people say, I wish you could get back to your old fun self. I really do try. I feel like the core of my soul has kind of changed since the inauguration. I feel like I just realized that like, I thought like 1% of the world was evil. And I think I realized like 50% of the world's evil. And I feel like I didn't realize, is 50% of the world evil? It's hard because I feel like my mind has been unlocked with like everything, where it's like, it's not just America. It's like, even in Canada, they're like alt-right almost took office. Like, so I know Canada, there's tens of millions of people that are alt-right. Like here, the Congo, like Palestine, like I just am realizing like there's way more wicked people than I thought. And so it's hard for me to like have this like euphoric moments of like pure joy and excitement. I don't know why that made me almost cry, but it did. It is really hard for me to find like really pure joy and excitement from like my soul. I get it a lot with my friends in real life, which is excellent. And then online, I just almost get it never, which is probably some of it's probably maybe log off a little bit, which I do agree. I think that that's probably right. But when I thought, is Mark Maron my birthday buddy? And I decided to Google it, and it came up September 27th. I was like, I was like, oh my God. Like one of my favorite podcasters, someone I'm finding such comfort in right now. Someone who helps me feel like less alone and really seen with some of my really, really bad quirks, like we're fucking birthday buddies. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, we're fucking birthday buddies. Do you understand how exciting that is? And so for that, I will say my Chic C'est La Vie SVA SVA goes to Mark Maron this week, because I really felt an explosion of excitement, and it was really lovely. Now, as always, I'm trying to post more clips, like, review, subscribe, share the clips if you see them, even if it's just on your Instagram stories, it goes away. Tell your friends about me, download my podcast onto their apps. I don't care what you have to do. Play dirty. Go to Best Buy, go to Apple, download me and everything. Let's start cheating the system. If the Texas Republicans want to cheat the House of Representatives congressional, districts, can't we cheat my podcast numbers? Can we not add it to your best friend's podcast? Can you not share it with your mother? Can you not download it to your, whenever you meet someone new and they say, oh, put your number in my phone, take your phone, put your number in, go to the podcast app, follow my show. It's just so simple. And when I win, you guys win. Because if I get the numbers up and we get a 5-day-a-week podcast, that also means we're getting a podcast tour. That means we're getting backpack drives for kids. That means we're getting animal shelter donations. That means we're getting merch. That means we're getting everything. When I win, you win. Hell, more giveaways. We all go up. So, like I said, until next week, like, review, subscribe, save, share. What else do we do? Comment. Bye.